I'm Yvette Rios for thelatin-kitchen.com, and I wanted to share with you guys one of my favorite easy appetizer ideas. These are puff pastries filled with guava paste and queso blanco, which is a white, mild cheese. They're absolutely delicious and so easy to make. What you're gonna need for this recipe is you're gonna need pasta de guayaba or guava paste. You're gonna need queso blanco, which is a mild white tropical cheese. You're gonna need knives, a cooking oil, and I like to use coconut oil, especially when I'm baking, because I think the coconut oil flavors work really well with pastries. And then you're gonna need dough. And I'm using phyllo dough, which is a very, very thin dough. You can see how thin it is, it's wafer thin. But what you're gonna do with this is it's gonna give it that like flaky French pastry texture, so it'll be kind of like a croissant or like even a spinach pie that the Greeks make. It's a really, really easy dough to work with. You wanna make sure you defrost it overnight and then roll it out. I've got it here on a cooking tray. And then you wanna wet a kitchen towel and put it on top. Because as you're working with it, it gets dry really, really fast, so you wanna keep it moist so that it's nice and pliable. So I'm gonna put this off to the side. This is so easy to do, I'm telling you. Like, when I learned how easy this was, I was like, I'm just gonna make these all the time. And I will say, all across Latin America, guava and cheese, they're like this, they're like this. So what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna start with a couple of sheets of my phyllo dough. And then to get them to not stick to one another, you just use a cooking spray, coconut oil, and then you just take one more. Now you can kind of play with how much dough you use. I'm using 2 because I like mine to be more filling than dough. But you can make it 3 if you like the crispy flakiness. You could use 3 sheets. I'm just gonna use 2. And then you're gonna place the second one as close to on top of the first one as possible. Now you don't have to be perfect because you're gonna be trimming the edges of these so you don't have to go crazy. And then you're gonna coat it again with your cooking spray. You just wanna lightly coat it all over. The spray is gonna make sure that the pieces don't actually stick together. And when you look at how French pastries are made, like croissants, they put tons of butter. They actually put butter in between each layer of the pastry dough. So I'm gonna cut right down. So that's 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 and 5. That's perfect. And now it's time for the filling. So I'm gonna use some queso blanco and again the pasta de guayaba, but I actually like to use a little bit more queso than guayaba because the guayaba can be a little bit sweet. You set it up about 1 inch from the bottom. So now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take one corner and you just fold it, so separate it from the other one. And you're gonna tuck it in like this, and then you're just gonna start folding it like a triangle. And stuff is gonna kind of hang out of the edge, but don't worry about that because you're gonna be folding it over. And it's okay if some of them are a little bit bigger than the other. You don't have to go crazy. We don't have to be perfectionists. And then you just put them on your baking sheet like this and spray them with just a little bit of your oil on top so they stay nice and moist. And your oven is preheated to 375 degrees, and these are gonna go in for 12 to 15 minutes. So I like to set my alarm for 12 minutes, check in on them, and you wanna take them out when they're nice and golden brown. Yum. And in 12 to 15 minutes, they should look like this, nice and golden brown. So all you need to do is just plate them up. They're gonna be hot, hot, hot. And they are ready to serve. It is such an easy appetizer. And you know what, frankly, you could fill the phyllo dough with just about anything, but I'll tell you, guayaba and queso blanco. This recipe couldn't be any easier to make, and it's delicious. You can find them all over Latin America. Guava and queso blanco, they're like best friends. I'm Yvette Rios for thelatin-kitchen.com, and until next time, buen provecho.